Title is not an exaggeration. Up till the point where I was 14 to 15 years old, my iman was pretty much perfect. Never had doubts about anything. Everything was okay. But this was also the time where I had access to the internet a lot more than before. Slowly but surely, my mind became polluted by the garbage that I was seeing online. Suddenly, there were doubts that I never had in my life before about Islam, about Deen. I'd gone from a point where I could bet my life on the fact that after I die, I would go to either hell or heaven, to now not even being sure if God exists. For years, I remained lost and confused, but the main problem, I never ever sought help. I kept it all in because I thought that if I never spoke about it, it would just get her. And chances are, if you're watching this, you are probably in that boat or have been there. I would just keep watching stuff online that made it worse and worse, and I would never ever seek help. But how did I fix that all? And how am I going to fix it for you? How do you restore your iman to a point where it's as strong, if not stronger, than when you were like 14 years old, or when you were like a kid and your iman was just absolutely innocent and untouched? Well, first you need to understand this analogy, and it will make a lot of sense as we go through this video. Your body and pretty much every system in your body is like an input, process, and output system. Whatever you input, it's going to be processed, which is going to have effects, and then it's going to be output, which will also have its effects. For example, when it comes to diet, if you eat sugar more than the amount of sugar you're supposed to eat every single day, you are going to see the effects of that on your health. You might start to become more obese, or you might be more likely to get diabetes, or mentally you're going to slow down a little bit when you're trying to concentrate. You'll get brain fog. But if you start eating like pure natural foods, say for example you start eating lean meats and low processed carbs, I'm not like an expert in this stuff, but you'll start to see the effects of that, or not only in your physique, but you'll start to see how you can focus better, like right after eating or throughout the day. Whatever you input into your body, you'll get the output of it. I know for now it doesn't seem to make much sense, but it will, because I have found over the past maybe 2 years that your soul works the exact same way. You can call it soul, you can call it brain, whatever you want, but whatever you put into your brain or soul is what you're going to get out. And when you process it, you're going to feel it as well. The fact is, the reason that your iman was so powerful and like pure when you were a kid is because think about all the input you were getting. It was basically just your parents, maybe your Muslim friends, and they were just telling you good stuff all the time. And so you naturally were a good Muslim, and not even bring in the fact that naturally every human being is pure and good. But in this case, all the input you were receiving, like from your parents, like all the information you were getting, was also all positive. It was all intended with love and care, and that manifested itself in you. The problem is, as we start to grow up, we kind of become like independent, but it also comes with a layer of arrogance. And we start to take in information from other sources, which is fine. I mean, you should, obviously, you're not going to be with your parents forever. You're going to learn from the world. But we start to take in that information, and then we start to believe it as much as we did our parents, especially as like teenagers, because that's what we're still in like child mode. We're still absorbing everything. And so when you absorb all this information being thrown at you about atheism, about whether God really exists, about it, like all these questions that you've never had before, it really hits you hard. And it comes out of you in like confusion, irritability, like just you become resentful and you become anxious, and that's when you get that imposter syndrome that a lot of people get after getting like these doubts, but they're still in a Muslim household pretending to be Muslim. But anyways, what's the solution? Well, obviously it would be to fix your inputs. If you fix your inputs, guaranteed your output will change, because that's literally just how systems work. You're not gonna get the right input and then continue being like the same person that you struggle being with. And the simple solution for that is literally right behind me. This. And I am sure that you are familiar with what this is. And I'm sure that you have read it, as well, and perhaps you've read it in Arabic. But here's the problem. If I ask you to read it and tell me what it means, you would open it, you would read the Arabic if you can, then you would go to the English translation, one of so many English translations, and then tell me, oh yeah, that's what it means. But I have a big problem with that, and I've discovered this myself, being someone who's struggled with Iman for years. That's not the solution. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. The fact that you need to understand is that the Quran, or any book of Allah, any book of God, is going to be revealed in a language, because humans speak many languages, and in this case it happens to be Arabic. I found that the task of learning Arabic is not hard at all, and scientifically Arabic is one of the hardest languages in the world, but it is surprisingly not difficult to learn Arabic to understand the Quran. And especially if you can read Arabic, you need to understand this. It is so easy to learn Arabic if you can already read it. You are like 70% of the way, because it's the script of Arabic that's hard. You see, every single prophet that was sent by God that to guide humanity had a miracle, pretty much. Every single prophet. If you look back to Prophet Sulaiman, he was able to understand the language of creatures, which is a miracle. And when you look at any other prophet, they had a miracle for humanity. Well, for Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, this was the miracle given by God. And when you look inside, it's in Arabic. And that Arabic is the purest form of Arabic. And every Arab will tell you that they cannot replicate it. Every human being in the past who has tried has failed for a reason, because this is language that is straight from God. I promise, if you learn a little bit of Arabic and you start reading this in its purest form, in the real authentic Arabic, nothing will ever infiltrate your Iman ever again. And that's how I'm saving you years of life, because from this video onwards, if you actually take action and learn Arabic, I promise you nothing can ruin your Iman. No one on the street, no one in a YouTube video, no one in the comment sections, no one will ever create doubts in your heart again. It's as simple as that. If you've made it this far into this video, that means you're serious about it and you understand the point that I'm making. And I want to assure you that it's really not that difficult. All you need to do is start learning step by step, like little baby steps at a time. For me, that was literally learning like one word a day, but it could be less for you. But the easiest way by far is to literally just surround yourself by the right people. And you can do that by scrolling down and joining my free community. Those are people who have the exact same goal as you. They're trying to improve their Arabic to improve their Iman, which is beautiful. So go down, join, and inshallah, I'll see you in the next one.